Hey guys, I have not done this in a long time. I actually checked it out before I did this video. I haven't done one of these since December. It's been almost 6 months. But now it's back. Superstars of Wrestling 1987 TV season. This is video blog number 7 of this, and this time around, I'm going to be covering the episodes that aired May 9th, May 16th, and May 23rd, 1987. So, kick it off with the May 9th episode. The episode took place in the Centrum in Worcester, Mass. Pardon me. And we kick things off with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against Tiger Chung Lee. And this match was interesting because Tiger Chung Lee does get a bit of an advantage for a while in the match, and it really, it's really good to see, some, like a jobber, have this type of an opportunity, but Steamboat comes back, beats Tiger Chung Lee with a karate chop. So then we go to our update segment, which is done by Craig the George, as he shows us the clip of what happened in the previous episode with the debate between Bobby Heenan and Ken Patera, and now how Ken Patera has a sprained neck. He's in his, neck brace, and he issues a challenge for Ken Patera to face Hercules next week. Will Ken Patera answer the question? We'll find out. Next match is a 6-man tag team match. Nikolai Volkov, the Iron Sheik, and the Natural Butch Reed against the team of Jim Powers, Paul Roma, and Joe Murto. Now, they say that Hacksaw Jim Duggan is not in the building at this time because as of late, he's been interrupting the Russian national anthem. This really isn't much of a match. Sheik, Volkov, and Reed get the win. Now, after the match, and this was great. This was absolutely great. Slick starts to sing the Russian national anthem. I kid you not. Slick is singing the Russian national anthem. Oh my God. I know he, was doing it on purposely bad, but this was really funny. You do have to see it. So, our next match is Jake the Snake Roberts against Rick Gartner. I think this was a typo here. And Roberts wins with a DDT. So, after that, we have another match where Killer Khan is on for the second week in a row as he goes up against Mike Richards. And I gotta tell you, in 1987, Killer Khan is looking like a beast. He's looking like a guy that you don't want to mess with. And, it was to where, the commentators, even Jesse Ventura was like, apparently Mr. Fuji's having even a hard time, controlling Killer Khan. And, they were like, wow. So Killer Khan gets the win with the knee drop off the top rope. We then get an interview, with Ron Bass talking about Blackjack Mulligan and insulting his girlfriend. Then we get, I do want to point out this other bit that happened. We see Brutus Beefcake in a barber shop saying that, he'll cut anybody's hair, for those who get in there or in his way. Then we get a 6-man tag team match again. This time, the Killer Bees, B. Brian Blair, and Jumpin' Jim Brunzell team up with Coco Beware to face the team of Steve Lombardi, Pete Doherty, and Terry Gibbs. Now, what's cool about this is that the Bees and Coco Beware are all wearing the Killer Bee mask. So, that was sort of pretty neat to see something like that. Once again, this is another short match, but the Bees and Coco win when Beware hits the Ghostbuster. And then it's time for the featured match this week, on this episode, Bret Hart against Davey Boy Smith. Now, this is years before their classic match at SummerSlam 1992, but this is a good match for the amount of time that they were given on this show. Davey Boy got the win with a running power slam. After the match, Danny Davis came in, attacked Davey Boy, and it was basically a 3-on-1 on Davey Boy until Dynamite made the save. Now, at the end of the episode, we get a quick comment from Ken Patera about the challenge that Bobby Heenan laid out, and Ken Patera said that he accepts the challenge to face Hercules next week on Superstars. So we then go to our next episode, which aired May 16th, once again in Worcester, Mass, in the Centrum. Now, we kick things off with a tag team match, Demolition against the Islanders. And, I love Demolition, but the Islanders are really starting to creep up as far as being one of my favorite tag teams go, watching them. But I feel a little bit bad because this is not a good match with the Islanders. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the crowd or if they didn't have good, chemistry with Demolition. It was just a little weird. And Demolition do get the win with a little bit of assist from Mr. Fuji after he tripped up Tama. We then go to our update segment where this week we focus on the king of wrestling, Harley Race. They play a clip from WrestleMania 3 where Harley Race defeated the Junkyard Dog and then said that he will beat Hulk Hogan to become the World Wrestling Federation champion. So our next match is Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He goes up against Dave Barbie. And this one goes on the outside, and this goes back inside, and Jim Duggan gets the win with a 3-point stance. Now, after this match, Duggan heard about what had happened when Slick was singing the Russian national anthem. I wish somebody had this clip up on YouTube. It would be hilarious to watch. But Duggan does lead in a singing of America the Beautiful. Although his famous performance at SummerSlam 90 is a lot better than this. So then we go to another match, Honky Tonk Man with Jimmy Hart, who still has the ban the DDT sign with him, going up against Joe Milano. And this is just a very short match. Honky Tonk Man wins with the shake, rattle, and roll, and then after that he starts singing. Then Greg DeGeorge has an interview with the new Dream Team, Greg the Hammer Valentine and Dino Bravo, and they were saying that they will get Brutus Beefcake for what they did to their manager, Luscious Johnny B. So then we go to, once again, Killer Khan. Killer Khan appears again. This is the third week in a row, and it goes all the way back to the last review that I had done. The third week in a row we see Killer Khan in action, this time against Rick Hunter. This one is a shorter match, and Killer Khan wins with a knee drop. And then we go to the match between Ken Patera and Hercules that aired on Wrestling Challenge, but the commentary is done by Vince and Jesse. So I guess they must have edited out the commentary from Gorilla Monsoon. Match is okay. Ken Patera gets the win after outside interference from Harley Race. Billy Jack Haynes comes in to save Ken Patera before he gets beat down. So after the match and after a commercial break, we get Mean Gene in the back interviewing Ken Patera, and Patera is obviously upset about what just happened. And then we go to our final match of this episode, and this match just seemed put together on the spot. Blackjack Mulligan, Tito Santana, and Billy Jack Haynes against the Shadows and Iron Mike Sharpe. This just seemed put together on the spot. And it's just a little bit of a boring match, I'm not going to lie. The team of Mulligan, Santana, and Haynes get the win when Billy Jack Haynes puts on the full Nelson to Iron Mike Sharpe. And then, before the episode ends, we hear that next week on Superstars is going to be a non-title match Cowboy Bob Orton against the champ, Hulk Hogan. Now we get counterpoint. First from Cowboy Bob Orton, who's with Magnificent Morocco. Regular background, and he just says, I'm going to beat Hulk Hogan next week on Superstars. So, how do you think Hulk Hogan does it? Do you think he gets regular background? No, it's Hulk Hogan. He's got a green screen, and fireworks are blowing up behind him, and the instrumental version of I'm a Real American is playing, and Hulk Hogan says how he's going to beat Bob Orton next week, and how he's dedicating the match to all the troops who paid the ultimate sacrifice, since this show will be airing Memorial Day weekend. Yep, even in short promos, Hulk Hogan had to have it big. So now we go to the final episode of this particular review, which airs May 23rd. This episode takes place in Anaheim, California, in the convention center. Pardon me. So, before we even get to the matches, Hulk Hogan is being interviewed by Mean Gene Okerlund, and once again, Hulk Hogan says that he is dedicating this match to all the troops, all the people who pay the ultimate sacrifice, to serve our country, to keep it, safe and free. And after that, Ventura's like, hey, do you think he's dedicating that match to me? And it's pretty funny, and the joke runs a little bit later on. So our first match is Macho Man Randy Savage against Jerry Monty, and it's just a typical squash match. Savage gets the win with the flying elbow. So now we go to a special report. We're not doing an update right now. We're doing a special report on the health of superstar Billy Graham. You know my opinions on the guy. But anyway, this is about his health and how he is having major hip surgery, and how one of the doctors said that he should not compete. He should never go back into the ring ever again. And next week, they're going to show the surgery. I think they're actually going to show the surgery. I think it's one of those. It's real soon. So after that, we go back to a tag team match. This is just great. Hillbilly Jim and Outback Jack against Buddy Ryder and Dave Barbie. I wish I could make up the tag team, but I can't. Hillbilly Jim and Outback Jack. And what's funny about this is they show, like how they used to do the little interviews and the pop-up screen. Well, they show Hillbilly Jim and Outback Jack eating black-eyed peas. Wait till you hear the black-eyed peas. Pardon me. Anyway, Hillbilly Jim and Outback Jack get the win with when Outback Jack hit a bulldog on Ryder. So after that, we have another match, and it is the debut of the one-man gang as he takes on Jesse Cortez, and Cortez gets the crap beat out of him. He just gets beat up in this, and one-man gang dominates. He wins in his debut match, and it's the beginning of the one-man gang in the WWF. So now we have another match. Ken Patera against the Gladiator. Pardon me. Ken Patera wins with the bear hug. And then we get the snake pit. Now this is, at this point in time, Piper's Pit is already gone. So the snake pit is replacing Piper's Pit. And Jake the Snake Roberts has Bobby Heenan, Hercules, and King Harley Race as his first guests on Superstars. And basically Heenan says that they will get rid of Ken Patera. Not all the family members are here right now, but they will get Ken Patera. And now it's time for the featured match, Hulk Hogan in a non-title bout against Cowboy Bob Orton. And this is an interesting match because during the middle of the match, Hulk Hogan sends Bob Orton into the corner, and the top rope breaks. So for the rest of the match, Hogan and Orton are competing without the top rope. And, it starts off with the usual Hogan has the advantage, and then, Fuji and Orton get a cheap shot in. They beat up Hogan for a little bit. And then Hogan comes back with the leg drop. 1, 2, 3. Hulk Hogan wins. Now, during the match, Ventura's like, Hogan has dedicated this match to me. He's dedicated this match to the body. And it's just so great, because of, Jesse Ventura was a Navy SEALs, and he hates Hulk Hogan, but Hogan's dedicated the match to everybody who served. And then it gets weirder, because during this match, or not during this match, but after the match, when Hulk Hogan's song is playing, they show, all these still photos of, like tombstones and the Vietnam Memorial Wall and the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, the Statue of Liberty, the American flag, fireworks, soldiers. It's just so weird. So anyway, we finish off the episode actually with Bobby Heenan telling us that next week on the next episode of Superstars, he will introduce to us his brand new tag team. And that pretty much wraps up this review of Superstars of Wrestling in the 1987 season. I can't really say there was anything that broke out for me. Obviously, Patera having his first match in years is a big deal, but the fact that it was done, at where Wrestling Challenge was, and maybe it got edited, who knows. Hogan and Orton obviously was the big thing in the 3 weeks of Superstars of Wrestling here. But I do have to say the best moment is when Slick sang the Russian national anthem. It is absolutely hilarious. So, the next 3 episodes that will be reviewed will include Bobby the Brain Heenan announcing his new tag team, the continued saga of superstar Billy Graham and his surgery, and a match that will long live in infamy as a new champion is crowned. Who is it? Can't tell you right now. You'll just have to wait and see.